Do you still believe that after the first day's evidence, that this is going to go very badly for Prince Harry? Because, of course, David Sherborne, his slippery, slimy lawyer, made a very strong case.
Mm. He did make a strong case. And of course, Harry probably has a little bit of a case here. But at the same time, I saw a little bit of how the Daily Mail is refuting these arguments, saying, you know what? His friends like to talk to the press.
Wow, folks, can you imagine the intensity? Day one of Prince Harry's high-stakes legal battle with the Daily Mail publishers just kicked off with a bang, and reports suggest he's particularly highlighting Rebecca English, the host of Palace Confidential, in some of the claims. It's like a plot twist in a royal saga, with Harry stepping into the spotlight, but some observers note he appeared noticeably worn out as he arrived at court. Beyond just the natural signs of time passing, his overall demeanor seemed to reflect the weight of the moment. It's fascinating to watch how a once celebrated figure navigates this chapter, raising questions about what drives such a pursuit. Harry, is this the path that's truly worth it? Let's dive right in and unpack this, everyone. This isn't your average celebrity court appearance. It's Prince Harry taking on Associated Newspapers, the company behind the Daily Mail, centering on allegations of privacy invasions stretching back over the years. Harry's joined by other well-known names like Elizabeth Hurley and Sadie Frost in this group action, but naturally, the focus lands heavily on him as the Duke of Sussex, who's been quite open about his experiences in recent times. According to court proceedings, he's claiming that certain journalists, including Rebecca English, may have overstepped boundaries in gathering information about his personal matters, such as travel details and private conversations. And from what we've seen in reports, there was no settlement on the first day, which means Harry could be testifying soon, perhaps as early as Thursday, putting everything under intense scrutiny. Picture it, the so-called spare to the throne sharing his side in a public courtroom with so much at stake. It's undeniably dramatic, but it prompts the question, is this the most strategic move? Now, this is where things get really intriguing. Reports indicate that Harry's legal team is zeroing in on Rebecca English, a longtime royal correspondent who's built a solid reputation, hosting Palace Confidential and sharing insights into the monarchy. She's known for her connections within royal circles and for delivering stories that capture headlines. According to some media accounts, the claims suggest she might have employed questionable tactics to obtain details about Harry's movements and even those of his former girlfriend, Chelsea Davy, years ago. Court documents reportedly mention emails involving flight numbers, seat info, and travel plans, elements that evoke a sense of intrigue straight out of a thriller. Some reports even note that Harry's side argues she was aware of the methods used, especially with pseudonyms involved to maintain discretion. It's worth pondering. What does it mean for a public figure like Harry, who's shared personal stories in his memoir about family dynamics and personal challenges, to now challenge media practices on privacy grounds? It's an interesting contrast that sparks a lot of discussion. But let's build on that thought. Some commentators point out a potential irony in the situation. Harry has spoken publicly about how media attention impacted his life, fostering a sense of distrust and isolation. A rhetorical question arises. Has the sharing of personal stories through books, documentaries, and interviews contributed more to public knowledge than traditional reporting? After all, he's transformed his experiences into widely consumed content. And when it comes to figures like Rebecca English and Katie Nicholl, these are established professionals in royal journalism, often seen at events and providing commentary on the family. Katie, for instance, has moved into broadcasting roles, offering perspectives on the Windsors, and reports suggest she's also referenced in the case regarding alleged use of investigators for stories involving celebrities like Sadie Frost. It makes you wonder if this legal action is highlighting tensions in a system that once supported public interest in royal affairs. An analogy comes to mind. It's somewhat like a player questioning the umpires after participating in the game for years. It invites reflection on fairness and accountability.
Harry was a working member of the royal family. And Richard's right, they are absolutely amazing events. And it just feels, I don't know, it feels to me slightly distasteful that, you know, the amazing efforts of these men and women are kind of being used as a pawn in a kind of, you know, a public game between father and son, which is why I think, you know, very strongly, I know people within royal circles believe this is something that should be addressed between them privately.
Okay, so that's Rebecca.
And let's not overlook the reported emotional impact this seems to be having, not only on Harry, who some outlets described as looking strained upon arrival, almost as if bearing a heavy burden, but on the broader royal landscape. According to spokespeople, he arrived feeling prepared, yet body language experts in the media have speculated otherwise as he navigated the photographers with brief greetings. It raises curiosity. Is this the vision of independence he sought, swapping royal duties for legal proceedings? In contrast, other members of the family, like Prince William and Catherine, continue their public engagements, supporting various causes and charities in a steady manner. King Charles has been seen carrying out duties in places like Edinburgh, maintaining the monarchy's presence. While some see Harry's actions as potentially straining media-royal relations, others view the family's approaches as complementary, blending tradition with contemporary issues. The monarchy often relies on that equilibrium between heritage and progress, and this case prompts questions about how such dynamics might evolve. Public sentiment has been buzzing, as you'd expect. If you browse royal discussion boards or social media, you'll find a range of opinions, where some fans express concern that Harry might be overextending himself. One general vibe I've noticed, without quoting specifics, is comparisons to someone holding on to past frustrations in a way that disrupts harmony. Viewers across the USA, UK, and Australia are weighing in actively. Some surveys and online chatter indicate growing support for the day-to-day royal work, alongside weariness with ongoing controversies. It makes sense. Audiences often crave consistency over constant upheaval. A relatable parallel? Think of a relative who exits family gatherings dramatically and later contests old disputes legally. We can empathize with Harry's acknowledged difficult upbringing and the pressures of fame, but extending those issues publicly now, it can feel draining for observers. Even royal commentators have speculated that the case could have unexpected outcomes, potentially affecting perceptions if alternative explanations for information sources emerge, like from acquaintances or internal briefings, rather than illicit means. That twist would be quite the revelation. Looking at the bigger picture, this goes beyond gossip. It's touching on the interplay of power in royal spheres. Should Harry prevail, some analysts suggest it might encourage more cautious journalism when covering figures funded partly by public resources, like security and properties. The monarchy's sway often depends on openness, with media playing a role in oversight. Yet this path could lead to more guarded interactions, possibly diminishing public engagement. Consider Australia, where debates about republicanism occasionally heat up. Such events might add fuel to those conversations. In the UK, it could challenge the cultural influence that positions the Windsors as international symbols. And in the USA, Harry's adopted home, it might shift how fans perceive the royal narrative, from enchanting tales to more contentious realities. A rhetorical thought: is this approach strengthening personal agency, or does it risk isolation? Shifts in power might enable more legal challenges from public figures, but at what expense to open dialogue? Relevance can slip away when connections fray, and that's a key element here. Circling back to that sense of contrast, it's worth noting again because it's so central. Harry's legal filings reportedly include assertions about voicemail access, travel tracking, and even private health details for others in the suit, like Elton John, who has expressed feelings of intrusion regarding family matters. If substantiated, that's significant, but it juxtaposes with Harry's own detailed disclosures about personal events, such as family occasions. What an intriguing parallel. Rebecca English, far from a mysterious entity, is visible on platforms like YouTube, fostering discussions on royal topics with a professional flair. Yet in the narrative of the case, she's positioned centrally. Another analogy: it's akin to blaming the meteorologist for the weather they forecast. It stirs emotions, doesn't it? Journalists often face pushback for delivering the news people seek, and here one is entangled in a dispute with a prominent individual who values privacy yet engages publicly. Rhetorical query: if privacy is paramount, why not step back entirely from the limelight? The wave of public feedback continues. From Australia to America, there's a palpable sense of saturation. Comments often highlight perceptions of Harry emphasizing grievances, while others in the family prioritize initiatives. For example, William's efforts on social issues like homelessness demonstrate commitment without legal entanglements. Catherine's focus on child development is seen as innovative and compassionate, differing in style from other pursuits. The differences are notable. Some paths emphasize construction, others confrontation. These developments could alter how media and royals interact, potentially leading to more reserved reporting and less dynamic coverage. Power might lean toward privacy, but at the risk of reduced visibility for all. In Australia, it could amplify movements away from monarchy ties. In the UK, it could test loyalty. Harry's profile, once centered on positive endeavors like the Invictus Games, now intertwines with these disputes. On a wider scale, if legal actions curb storytelling in celebrity realms, it might reshape narratives. Perhaps that's part of the intent, to steer the conversation. Wrapping this up with some final reflections. Harry, what's the end game here? You started with such promise, a veteran, a charismatic royal, and now this legal arena, where appearances suggest fatigue. Is the pursuit truly fulfilling? It seems to create distance from former circles and family bonds for outcomes that might not satisfy. Meanwhile, the monarchy persists, with figures like William and Catherine upholding responsibilities amid challenges. Perhaps it's time to consider if there's a better way forward. Life offers so many avenues beyond conflicts. To all of you tuning in, this underscores the value of open discussions on these topics. Hey everyone, if this got you thinking, give it a thumbs up, share your views in the comments. What do you make of the case's potential? And for those in the UK or Australia, please subscribe if you haven't. It's simple, costs nothing, and ensures you catch all the latest royal updates. Enable those notifications too. Thanks for joining, keep the conversation going. Disclaimer, this discussion is based solely on public reports, media coverage, and general opinions circulating in the royal commentary space. Nothing presented here should be taken as verified facts, legal advice, or endorsements of any claims. All allegations in the case remain unproven and are subject to court proceedings.